Well, welcome back everybody, and welcome to the garden. This garden has not been, was never put to bed and never cleaned up or anything like that. I don't do a whole lot from year to year. I usually do my cleanup and my amendments when I get ready to start planting. It just seems to be the way it's worked so far. And so to begin with, let's start over here. This is the in-ground garden. It is pretty overgrown with grass and weeds and my dog and my killer plastic owls. Doing things a little bit different this year. I've had a number of problems on this far row. I know the row is hard to make out, but I've got some trees that put quite a bit of shade through the summer months, but I did find a plant that I'm going to be growing this fall that's permanently going to go in this row because it requires 75% shade, and that's going to be golden seal. So now I've finally figured out how to deal with the problem of this row not really being very cooperative as far as growing things. But after discovering that I wanted to grow golden seal, it was a bonus when I found out it requires so much shade. So I think we've got a working plan there. Of course, as you can see, the weed barrier is all torn up, and that's coming up. We're putting only weed barrier down. I'm pulling out all the dead stuff or cutting it back if it's a perennial. And we will be tilling new rows, adding amendments, doing all the things. I was going to show you, we've got a couple of volunteer plants here. Last year I fought like the dickens to get parsley to grow. And there's the parsley. Yeah. No encouragement whatsoever. It's come up. And over here, a lovely kale going up. So, and actually over here there's another one. And this guy here, I tried so hard to get a flower to grow right here, and nothing ever happened, and now I've got a flower growing here. I forget what variety it was. I'm betting it was, I actually think it was a wildflower mix, actually. So, I don't know, we'll see. The leaves are pretty uniform, so actually it probably wasn't a wildflower mix, but time will tell. Let's see if I can find any other volunteer babies that may have come up. Well, it looks like right here I may have some more kale. I planted kale and I planted broccoli over there that never did anything because of the shade problem. But over here I did get some, and I think this may be kale too coming up, which is pretty awesome. The in-ground garden actually got pretty heavily amended last year, so I'm just kind of adding to it this year. We worked pretty hard to give it a good first start out of the ground. That was a terrible pun. I'm so sorry. Let's see over here. Pardon me. Now those are probably weeds right there. I don't know if you can see them, but there's an itty bitty spider friend there. And yeah, that was a weed. Okay. Let's see. My dog doing her thing here. I'm just looking for any more volunteer plants that may have come up. I don't think there are any. Let's see. This is where we had squash last year. Let's see. I think we're pretty good as far. We had the garlic over here in this corner last year. Obviously, it's not going there because we've got it in pots this year. I do have random wild onions growing. They do this throughout the entire yard. The former owners of this home had planted onions at some point, and then they let it go to seed, and the seeds just migrated. They're all over the yard, all over. When one of my family members mows the grass, it smells like lasagna at the end of the day because of all the onions he's mowed down. So this is basically what we're looking at. It's an 18 by 20. And I have found that I can fit quite a bit in here. Now what I'm doing different this year, I'll give you a tour of the medicinal garden here in just a bit. Bring you around here. So what we're doing different here is, you can see, if I can back up enough here, if you can see the border to the medicinal raised bed garden and then the border to the in-ground garden, I'm actually coming out with pots, or in this case 5-gallon utility buckets, and I'm going to expand the medicinal garden all the way back through here and then all the way down the side. So that's how we're going to cost effectively expand the garden. I've already got the buckets. I've already purchased the garden soil. So as soon as we can get a few days without rain, I'll be able to start tilling the ground and adding in any amendments I need. Now this was the very first garden I had. It is my medicinal garden. And when I first, see if I can get the door open. Oop, hang on. There we go, I had to kick it. When I first started growing in here, I pretty much had just the medicinal herbs in here, and that was about it. And I had about 20 plants. That was it. Last year I had about 60 to 80, I want to say, no, I had 70 plants. This year we're going to have 200. I did the tally last night, and we're having 200 plants this year, so I'm pretty excited about that. So in here, what's coming back already, this is Sweet William, and my thyme plant is already coming back. I did plant more thyme, but I like using a lot of thyme. This is my bee balm. Now this is what it looks like up top from last year. So you can see it gets about 3 feet tall total, but it's already coming back beautifully. So today we're going to cut down all the dead stuff, and it filled up this entire corner. This is the echinacea that's dead from last year. I've already collected a lot of the seeds, but down here, if you can see that little bit of green, it's coming back too now. And over here is my yarrow that's already coming back, and I actually see, if I'm not mistaken, yep, it's coming back. I thought I had a couple of little flower buds in there. Now this is the trippiest thing of all. This is mullein. I think that's how you pronounce it. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. This is a volunteer plant. It showed up last year, and it's still going strong. It's made it through every freeze, every threat of snow, sleet, hail. This thing has stood the test of time. And as you can see, it's quite healthy, and so this is its second year. It should bloom this year. So I'm beyond excited about that. So everything else has been pulled up, and that is about it. So what is going to happen next, and you can see all my little garlic pots and the rose I planted last year from our mom. It's coming back beautifully. I need to actually restake it back up, and the rest of the garlic pots. So what I'm going to do now is just start some cleanup. So I appreciate you coming along with me, and I'll do a little bit of cleanup, and then I'm going to give you a tour of all the seeds that I've planted so far. I've got 3 packets left. I forgot to plant my onion seeds yesterday, so. So let me get some cleanup done, and I'll show you the seed starts. Interestingly enough, out of all of the garden supplies that I own, I do not have a pair of nippers. I need to get some of those. Okay, so when I actually cut these back, a lot of times it'll just break off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my bigger ones. Hang on. Kitty cat baby. My doggy's in front of me. These Fiskars scare the bejeebers out of me. They are so violent looking. But, right tool for the job and all that. Okay, that's better. Yeah, being attacked. I never talk about how your plants attack you in the garden. Yeah. So that's all I do is I just cut down the dead stuff and get it out of the way so that the new growth can come through. Wow, the bee balm has really spread. I'm sure it's invasive, but in a good way. The bees love it. And it's very good for you. So, I'm just going to keep cleaning these up and see if we can make it look pretty again. Okay, as you can see, I've cleaned it up pretty well through here. I've just gotten all the dead leaves out. I like to leave those from year to year over winter because it's a good way to mulch. It's free mulch. But since we're getting closer to planting season, I like to go through, pull them out, pull out any little weeds that are trying to get a foothold, that kind of thing. So it's looking pretty good. I cut the thyme back as well, because parts of it are dead, but parts of it are taking back off. But just to give it a good chance, I've got most of the bee balm cut back. It's ready to go. And now I'm going to start working on the echinacea plant. I'm going to take a break here and I'm going to rake out the ground floor, as it were. So I've got some space to move around because a lot of that just came out of here. But as you can see, it's pretty clean. So we're going to be moving over to the back side now, right after I clear a path. Okie dokie. Let's see, I got the ground cleared up so I can actually maneuver through here. Get my gloves back on. It's only it's like 71 outside today. So it's a very nice day for this. Tomorrow we're expecting rain. We're expecting a lot of rain for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm kind of rushing to, well, not rushing, but trying to make the biggest dent that I can. Let's put it that way. Now this echinacea plant is about 2 years old. It was blooming when we bought it from the nursery. So this one is not one of my growths that I have grown myself, but it has been a very healthy plant and it has served me very well. I am planting more this year to see what we can accomplish. Okay, get all the dead stuff out here. I'm going to clean out the leaves. They have served their purpose for the winter. I'm also putting in all new drip hoses throughout the in-ground and the raised bed here. The buckets I'll have to water by hand, but I mean, that's not a big deal. It is what it is. Move that before I lose them. Nothing fancy. I just pull out all the dead leaves And I like to give the plants an opportunity to get more sunlight this way. Yeah, let's see. Let me see if I can bring you over and show you. This is really cool. Hang on here. Let's see. You see all these little green guys? That's the echinacea coming back. Pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and finish just cleaning out this bed. My little statue right there. And then we're going to move on to just doing a little upkeep over here. Okay, I have to show this to you. For a little bit of backstory, I have spent every year gardening trying to grow beets. My love-hate relationship with beets, right? We talked about it. Guess what I just found? Growing randomly. I have a beet, or beets, rather, growing. I don't even know how it got over here. Is that wild or what? I'm going to leave it be. I'm going to trim off some of the dead twiggy things because I think I had calendula planted here that never really took off. So I'm going to trim the twigs off and let our random beet go. This is fun. I love it. Hi, kitty cat. Are you visiting? Yeah. I call him Grumpy. He has a bad disposition. Alrighty. It looks pretty clean now. I did find this right here. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's healthy, whatever it is. I hope it's not a acorn tree trying to start. I don't think it is, but there's a second one right there. So I'm just going to kind of play that and see how it goes. See if I can figure out what it is. I see a little weed here. And so this one's clean, and we're going to get this one cleaned up. And so far, it is Grumpy approved. So I'm going to get back at it. Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to do here. I am going to give my friend the mullein plant here a little bit of a cleanup underneath. I forgot to mention that this mullein plant has competed with collards last year that got about a good 3 feet wide and a good 3 feet tall. It was a monumental plant. And the mullein plant came up underneath it, competed with it, and won. I clearly have since pulled out the collards, but yeah, it has withstood the test of time, you could say. So I'm just going to go in like, the only thing I'm cutting off is something like this, where it's just clearly just decomposed matter at this point. And that's the only thing that I will be removing, pulling out any dead leaves, that kind of thing. Because basically I've left this thing alone and it is perfectly content doing its own thing. So I'm just going to clean it up just a bit. Just a hair. Get that out of there. Just so you can get some airflow, because it's pretty dense down in here. And I see a really deep spot over here that needs to be cleaned up. Let's get these guys back here. There's quite a bit happening. Try not to cut my drip hose as I go here. Some of these are rotten enough they're just coming out without even having to snip. And that's about it. He's cleaned up. That's an awfully healthy looking plant. How did it get here? I think that the spirits just blessed me. That's how it got here. Spirit was thinking I needed a mullein plant in my medicinal garden. And Spirit was right. So, yeah, it looks pretty good. I'll get this corner of this yarrow. Honestly, I had inadvertently gotten yarrow in a pot on the back deck where I was growing jalapenos. These things are so resilient that I finally just cut out the jalapeno plant and just said, you know what, you're here, you have stood the test of time, it's yours. So I've got 2 yarrow plants going, which is a very good medicinal herb to have. And I believe I planted some more too. Let's see here. A very highly, scientific way I clean up these garden beds. Oof. Okay. I would say, guys, we have cleaned it up. I'm going to do a final rake out of the ground. But it looks really, really good. I'm very happy. Thank you, everyone, for coming along with me. And I look forward to seeing you next time. And remember, if you enjoyed this content, to like, subscribe, comment, share, hang out. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, friends. I almost forgot, friends. Now, forgive me, it's incredibly messy. But this is the status of our seed starts. This is the one that we planted together. I actually have the labels all wrong because I actually have it turned around because my table's not quite level. But everyone is germinating pretty gosh darn good. I've had to deal with a couple of issues of algae, but I use a solution that I got from M.I. Gardener. Luke suggests using, I believe it's 3. Double check on his YouTube channel. Just put in M.I. Gardener algae treatment and it'll come right up. And it's about the last 10 minutes of the video. The recipe is really simple. It's 2 or 3 tablespoons of baking soda per gallon of water and like 2 to 3 drops of dish soap. And put it in a spray bottle, and then you can treat the algae. And actually, it has helped a great deal. I did it yesterday morning, and it's already working beautifully. Over here, I got these done yesterday, and I got all of these guys done yesterday, and these guys done yesterday. And I still have over here I did decide to grow my own onions this year. I am tired of it. I'm growing onions, darn it. So I've already planted yellow onions, long day yellow onions. I'm going to do the white, the bunching, and the chives. So yeah, that's everybody. So I think that's about it. Like I said, I still have the last 3 packets to plant, and we will be up and running. I just celebrated my first 2 weeks, I believe, with the cold stratification of the other 13 packets that will be planted a little bit later on. So that's about it. All right, friends, thank you for joining me. And I really always enjoy your company. Thank you for coming along, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Be sure and share with a friend if you so choose to do. And I appreciate your company. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You are what makes this channel great. Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.